Welcome to Toffee TV, and it's the final word. Everton 3, Doncaster Rovers 0. Everton have won a game of football and a clean sheet as well. Joined by Dave Feely and Keith Mullen in the house, author and international pop star extraordinaire. Back from Glastonbury, but more of that in a bit. Lads, first of all, before we get into the game, the opening 2 league games haven't been amazing, have they? Let's put it mildly. Dave, you've obviously been to both.
I have.
What have you made of it?
No, absolutely. I agree. It's stating the bleeding obvious to use the idiom, but actually, if you break it down, the first game, we were the better side in the first half. That can be argued. It was my opinion at half time. Brighton have got a good squad, man. They've got options all over the park in the first 11 and from the bench as well. So to get to that stage was kind of acceptable, in my opinion. Not fantastic, but decent, able to build on, with options to change it ourselves. I went to every pre-season game, so I could see it incrementally coming along. I liked the kids. I liked what he'd been doing with the kids in the pre-season games. So I was looking at that. Within 15 minutes, we've given them 2 goals, particularly the second one with Garnegay. It was absolutely unforgivable. The whole thing about the summer and we just had 3 consecutive relegation fights, and we've got to get out of that mentality. And this is coming out of the club as a Pravda newspaper. This is what you're gonna think, kind of spiel. And then to do that after all that, the only way I could personally describe it, or the most succinct way I can describe it, it was dumb. It was thoughtless. It was granted, people can switch off in any job, but you've literally been training, and the mindset part of this particular league that we're playing in, it's crucial. And so we then go to Tottenham, and the goalkeeper does the same thing. The first goal, I'm not complaining about. He took it well. It was the top corner. He should have saved it, to be honest. But if he scores,
the 5 plays that lay on the floor before it was,
and not just that, the 15 passes around our goal, and that's the problem. And I was just retreating into it. But I'm talking about the actual strike.
No, it was a good goal.
He took it well. I put my hands up to that. That happens. That's particularly down there where he seems to ship goals for fun anyway. But the second one, it was just a body blow. It was just like, the mindset snaps at that point. Now we've got to climb another mountain at a place where traditionally we do not turn up. By the way, there's a list as long as your arm where we do not turn up. But that was, I just thought, you aren't helping yourselves. So we got to last night, and to half time, and you can hear rumbles in the crowd, and he swapped a few players, by the way. He's given minutes to people who hadn't been in the team to date, and that can go either way. So to come out of it with a resounding, let's be honest, by the end of it they weren't even in it, a resounding, as it turns out, over 90 minutes, only on the result, not in the performance, but a resounding win, 3-0 at home. Well, I'm taking it at the moment.
Keith, anything to add?
Well, we were at the match last night, and we were at the Brighton game, you know. To me, for the first game, I mean, I did feel we were the better side in the first half, pretty much the same today. That's the type of discussion we were having at half time. But it was kind of typical of when we're not necessarily at our best, where we're the masters of our own kind of deep downfall. Because of several things. One, the mistakes that we kind of make, the fact that we can't keep hold of the ball at times, and when we do get the chances up, we're not actually taking them, you know. So, I mean, I've lost count of the amount of times where I've sat there with Dave last season and said we should have took our chances in the first half. We're gonna get, you know, we're gonna get our, you know, backside handed to us in this second half. You know, we've said that countless times. It certainly felt like that at the Brighton game. The Spurs game I didn't go to, but I was at the game there last season, and I think last season we gave them a game. Last season we come away from that last season, and we were
why was it disallowed?
We come away from last season thinking that was a loss that kind of felt like a win, if that's even possible. You know what I mean? But Again, with the Spurs game, probably 3 of those goals we just handed to them. You know, it is silly mistakes, whether it's switching off, whether it's kind of things not gelling, or the team not being kind of ready, or them not being happy about certain things. I mean, they didn't particularly do themselves any favours. Spurs were just running through us. Do you know what I mean? You know,
yeah, I thought they just looked Saturday. They looked beaten at 5-3.
Yeah,
they didn't look. There was not one minute I thought in that game we thought we could get.
There was a moment. We had 2, maybe 3 crosses in about 20 minutes, and there was a moment. What sticks out in my brain, I could be wrong, and it was a ball from McNeil went over the back, and Harrison come in on the back post, and he tried to bring it down and slide it. If he hits that first time, puts his laces through it, back across the keeper, he might score, he might not, there might be a ricochet, but we had 3 players in the 6-yard area, or 2 or 3 players, certainly from the penalty spot to the goal. You play percentages in
moments
them
though,
instances.
innit?
And that's crucial though. Going to grounds like that, we are going to go to City, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, all of them grounds, and it will be moments which decided we will not dictate the play in those games. So if you do not take those moments, I'm not blaming Allison, by the way. He had an option. He decided
He'd already stuck one in the side, and
he had done.
That was at 1-0.
That's true.
Well, I think you've got a point there as well. I think they were kind of looked defeated in the first half. There, I don't think there was the belief there that they could win the game. They're probably thinking it'll be good if we can get a draw. Because if you compare the game against Spurs this season to the game against Spurs last season, it's basically
we were getting 2-0 then, but decided to start playing them a game of football at 2-0 down.
We come into last night, and obviously pressure this week. You know, it's a big week, I think, for Everton.
Absolutely, yeah.
2 home games. Have to win the both of them, really.
Yeah.
And obviously there's still, as time recording, there's still 48 hours and a bit. You know, they're trying to do deals in that, which is good because we need it. Last night was always going to be tricky because we have lost the both opening games and all that. But I did say yesterday 3 or 4-0. I thought we'd be too strong for them.
Yeah.
As it happened, it was. But the team, I was hoping Roman Dixon played. I won't lie.
So
I think he played him at Spurs. Give him another go because I think he may well go out on loan by Friday's deadline now because I think Coleman's back and Patterson will be back and Young's there. Garner's back.
Don't want him to go out on loan.
No, I think he will. I just think he will. Yeah. So I would have played him last night. But obviously the other players did play. We saw Coleman come back, Garner come back, but we saw Lindstrom and Jai.
It was a good test for some players that last night. You know, obviously it's not Premier League opposition, but it was a good test for some of them last night. They got some hours, you know, on the pitch. They got some kind of, you know, they got a bit of work rate. And, you know, we actually, you know, we scored some goals and we come away with a good result from a confident point of view. But it's good. It's obviously going to be very, very different against Bournemouth. We all know that, but I think it was a good test for them last night. You know, hopefully help stimulate a bit of belief, and also maybe gives Dice some thoughts on some of the possible options, because we were talking about it on the train on the way up here today. You know, whereas, you know, we kind of stuck with one way of playing. You know, with the Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front, and we can't really change that. Do you know what I mean? It's either take them off or put better one.
Might be changed for us in 48 hours, by the way.
But also, it's
which might not be a bad
about
thing.
Calvert-Lewin, but it's also not about Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah.
It's a lack of movement, which then gives them an option, whoever we're playing, to have 2 static banks of 4. So our option, given that none of our midfield, although the kid from Aston Villa is impressing everybody, I've seen every game he's played for Everton, including all the pre-season up to now, and every time I've seen him, he's been the best player on the park. Every single time. Now, that being the case, we've got nobody. We will come back to the Ndai's goal in a moment, but it's predictive. You can on the Tuesday, you can say what's likely to happen on the Saturday, because we're predictable in what we do. Our methodology, we get in front of them, we pass it to the side, we look to get down the front, we go back, we pass it to the side, we go, and the centre forward static, so the 2 centre halves are able to just stand within a 3-yard box, no one's getting moved around, and we are unable to break the lines. Last night, the kid and I turns on a sixpence, skins the kid, runs through. No one knows where anyone is anymore because they're all concentrating on this fella skating through the thing. And there you saw the difference.
But on Saturday, would you be surprised if he lines up with the Corey, McNeil, Harrison and...
I would not be because of the manager and his stubbornness.
Because that, to me, going into it last night was an opportunity for those players. It was good to see Beto getting the full 90, I think.
Yeah.
Just from a position that he might be our starting striker Saturday because the other fella's not here.
But not just that, you need him to be ready when he is. If injuries can come at any point, you can't have someone just coming
for
saying,
10 minutes.
I'm playing 3 minutes here and 8 minutes there. That's not enough.
No.
Yeah. He's openly said that some of these players aren't ready, hasn't he? You know, he has openly said that, and obviously last night's largely about, you know, giving them some game time as well against decent opposition. You know what I mean? And so would I be surprised? I think he'll probably go with what he kind of knows, purely simply for that, because he might think if he throws one of them in and it doesn't work, they're getting slaughtered, and he's getting slaughtered because of the Premier League.
I think, you know what,
season, you know?
I slightly disagree with that because I think the fans... Oh, no, I'm not saying he doesn't think like that, but I think the fans would rather see Illiman and Dye having a go and trying things rather than just doing...
Yeah.
Because the way I look at it, the front four who play generally are the Corey, Dom, McNeil and Harrison, and the fact he plays Harrison on the right when he's better on the left is beyond me. But
Harrison's been playing well,
but them four were our main four last season, and Everton the second lowest goal scorer in the league. So to then come back this season and go, they're me front four.
What he did do, actually, now that you've mentioned that, and it's come into my head, what he did do is he did a little bit last night, and I ended up on the left wing. Well, at Tottenham, granted, the game had sailed away like the fucking Royal Irish, by the way, by that point. However,
it's the Royal Irish, good.
It just came into me head. It was random, completely random. Not a known mental. Just like, let it go. Moving on to the next point. He actually, what he did, with reference to what you've just said before, the Royal Irish thing, was that Dye went left and McNeil went into the number 10 role. So I don't mind. What he's been doing with McNeil and Harrison is after 25 minutes, half an hour, the two of them swap. Well,
for 2 minutes.
Well, no, but okay, let's just take that specific thought. So, the Ducorey thing, every 6 months what goes by, he gets older. He's done well for us, what we paid for him. He scored crucial goals. But the time, we need to get somebody, whoever the centre forward is, whether it's Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Beto, or anyone, committee, or anyone else comes in, we need to start getting legs, bodies around the centre forward, because otherwise it's 2 against 1, minimum of 2 against 1 in all the time. So we are now, if you were a betting man, and none of us three are betting men, but you're second favourite, at least second favourite. You might not even be on the board, by the way. That's how many times you're going to score from that. The point is, like I just said to you, about the formulaic build-up, because of that fact, we're too far away from him as regards proximity. You've got to find a way to get people close to him. So by having and Dye on the wing, giving him the option of slipping inside, and McNeil to slide balls through instead of having to wander back, and then perhaps swap them over after 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, I don't care. But it gives the opposition...
The Beto goal isn't on without McNeil putting
That's exactly what happens.
The thing about
and even Tim's goal there.
That was Lindstrom on it. But the thing about it is, he's the two lads who've come in and both number 10s. It's just the fact.
We like buying a number 10.
No, I'm saying, but that's a fact, isn't it? You know, in Dye's best games, best performances, his biggest goal scoring years have been off the striker. And Jesper Lindstrom played in Germany, played before in Denmark as a 10, loads of goals, well not loads, but scored goals regularly, played for Frankfurt, everyone was after him, including Liverpool, they wanted him, he was in a 10. Went to Napoli and Napoli put him on the right wing. Didn't play because and we've got him and put him on the wing. Now, the manager might say, if I give him the benefit of the doubt, well, we're just trying to get him used to the level, and but he is a better player playing off the striker. So I'm with you on Decore. Decore's been really valuable to us
Yeah.
I still believe if Everton got a bid off Saudi Arabia by
be
Friday,
gone,
they'd
yeah.
sell him.
He'd let him go,
He's
but he's got
31,
big goals.
but he's got
what
big
done.
goals.
Yeah.
But is he, every 6 months, he's diminishing returns, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
And we do, just the way we play, we need something extra. I actually think the Corey's better further back, personally, because he goes and nicks the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're isolated, like Calvert-Lewin is, or Beto is at times, someone's
You
got to
need
be
someone
close,
around you, yeah,
who
you
can
need
take the
someone
ball.
around
So
who
it's
can't
less
say-
about Ducati then, as it's more about the tactics board and finding someone
To do
in
that
that role, whoever it is in the squad, who can get round whatever centre forward we are going to play that day. It doesn't matter who. Then, even if you get a corner, we've now got Brandwaite for the time being at least, and O'Brien, who are both 6'5", minimum 6'5". From corners now we become a threat.
Tarkovsky wins every header.
Sankat, but that's because he stands there waiting
No, but
for
I'm
the
saying
other
he wins every header.
to do that. So what I'm saying is, now these are positives in an attacking sense. What we haven't even looked at using, when every week we have to deal with opposition who are doing exactly that to our weaknesses, and then bringing 4 internationals, 5 internationals off the bench.
Yeah.
If we don't start thinking outside the box, I'm talking about from a managerial level, not by me and you and him sitting in the ground or on this couch, theorising about it. Someone needs to say, we have to at least try it.
Does it do your head in that one of our first passes is back to Pickford?
God, yeah.
Because even last night with like McNeil, this is why I don't think McNeil works wide.
Yeah.
He can't run.
No.
You know, he's like, okay, travelling with it, but he's got no pace. And what I mean is, it doesn't take much to force him back.
No.
There was like one at
Well,
Spurs on
He
Saturday.
turns inside all the time.
But there was one at Spurs on
Yeah.
Saturday, you will have seen it in the first half. It was 1-0. Decore bends the ball inside and he's got 50 yards
Yeah,
to run
that's
into.
right, yeah.
And he turned him back towards our goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have any confidence. That's why when he's central, he's
Yeah.
better because he
Better.
can shoot.
And it's the
He
passes.
can pick a pass
He
then.
picks the passes.
So we need to sort of let him, and it might be in die for now because there's not anyone else there. But what we've got to get away from, I think, is we end up going back to Pickford. We were doing it last night, and Ped picked this up in the final word the other day about the second goal. Everton have got a throw in on the halfway line on Saturday.
Yeah.
Roman Dixon throws it to Tarkovsky, who plays it all the way back to Pickford. The idea is for Pickford to kick it back to where the throw-in was.
Exactly.
So why you go back there then?
We're
And we
also,
done it last
we're
night.
also back to the 2 centre-halves, 1 centre-forward thing.
Exactly, so we were doing,
It's
we
like,
done it last
what?
night.
It's the law of diminishing returns. It's ridiculous.
I thought last night at times, in the first not in the second half, but in the first 45 minutes, if you'd have just dropped someone into the stadium and said, these are 2 teams in the same league, or who's in League 2 and who's in the Premier League, they look like a Premier League side, passing it right. We look like we knocked 2 passes and then we sort of don't know what we're going to do then. We were relying on Irabunum, Thriven, Orr and Jai. Everybody else was like a hot
Irabunum's
potato.
driving is that no one's moving.
No
for
one
the
even
ball.
moves either.
That's the problem. Now he's out of position when the 2 of them, because he hasn't got a pass on, so he's holding on to it a step too long or 2 steps too long. They take it off and there's a hole where he used to be standing.
So that's what I think we've got to get better at, and that's got to come. That can only come from the manager and the coaches. It can.
It's tactics, isn't it?
Exactly. We don't have to.
You know.
It just shouldn't be that every ball we want to do is a long ball. I don't mind long passes, and I hate. Dave will attest to it. I hate thinking 800 passes to go through. I can't stand that kind of football personally. Maybe if you've got the creme de la creme of football, like
This
City,
is not Holland in
Put a
1970.
few
yeah, well, it's not
Yeah.
us. So a variation is what I like.
Absolutely.
But we're almost becoming reliant on our goalkeeper smashing it long.
Well,
and then even if you're going to do that, then have people just gambling that Dominic Calvert-Lewin's winning the
That's
header and
the
run
problem.
past it. Don't wait and see what happens.
If you're going to build that intrinsically into the system, which apparently we are, because we've done it for the last 3 years since the manager's been here, you've got to give an option to the fella at the other end, because whoever it is, not about Calvert-Lewin, he's now got to win the header, hold off 2 defenders and wait 15 minutes for our midfield to catch up to him in order to pass it off, and then break and try and put the ball in the net. It's counterintuitive. It's absolutely, it makes no sense. And somebody has gone it after it. This is not about this week, next week. This is about Christmas, Easter, and the run-in to leave and to go to this new ground. This season is absolutely massive for us. So if that's going to be the case with this new page, new start, new mindset thing. Someone's going to have to start addressing the problem of the fucking tactics and how we're going to go about. We are in the business, fundamentally, of winning football games. In the Premier League, mate. Trophies are fantastic. I want to win them. It's the same as every other trophy. Please do not get me wrong on this. We are in the business of winning games in the Premier League. Therefore, to do that, the first thing you'd have to establish is that you are a member of the Premier League. So therefore, a set amount of points has to be a given. That should be off the table. In order to do that, you have got to have offensive options. If you look at other teams, I thought Tottenham are all right. They spent crazy amounts of money to be all right. They've got like 3 or 4 players. I don't really. I mean, they're all right. I'm not trying to slag them. Please don't get me wrong. But I look at them and think they're finding weaknesses in our team that a good side would get double the amount of goals against us, and that's 6, 7, 8 we're talking about now. That's embarrassing, and we can't lay a glove on them. And that's the bit. I get about the defensive thing. I will put my hands up to that. That's a question for another day. The part that we can't lay a glove on them, that's the bit what concerns me. Because other teams who aren't as good as them, with the resources what them, are identifying the same aspect and sitting right on top of us and saying, we'll just keep going for 65 minutes.
We started off, and Keith, I'll come to you, but we started off talking about the Brighton game. Now, I was sat there in the Brighton game, 2-0 down, said to Andy, the lad next to me, was like,
big man.
No, not him. No, but anyway, Andy, he's big man's in front of me. And it was like, I don't really know how we're 2-0 down here, because these haven't done anything. The problem was, neither did we. We were just sort of all right. It was flat.
We'd kind of threatened, hadn't we? We'd had a couple of possible moments that could have turned
that's
into
not
something.
In an hour. That's not good enough.
No, it isn't good enough.
So that's why what Dave's saying is right there. That's the moment that we have to work on, don't we? We know that at times we can be really good. Defensively, we know when Branthwaite comes in. This is not really having a go at Michael Key, because he's nearly done anything wrong. But when he's in the team, the facts will tell you Everton concede more than 2 goals a game. And it isn't always down to him, but whatever happens in that unit isn't as good as when Branthwaite's there. Better players, that's just the way it is. Branthwaite's better than Michael Key. That's just the way it is. And we need to sort that out. And so we know that defensively we can get tighter and stronger, because we proved it last year. It's the offensive bit, isn't it? Because they're the bits. Everton haven't won a game at Goodison when the opposition have scored since the Crystal Palace game and Lampard was the manager. It's over 2 years. Right? So that tells me, the minute if Bournemouth score on Saturday, you're going, well, we won't win because we haven't won for over 2 years. Now, that doesn't work like that. We may well win the game, but the facts will tell you just right now.
And Solanke's normally the one who scores against us.
But don't get me wrong. I fancy us Saturday, but it'll be tough and it'll be tight. But what I'm saying is, that's a worry for me. That if the opposition score, we're in trouble.
100%.
When we're really, I don't think we can set up hoping to keep it 0 and nicking it 1-0. And I think that's the bit the manager has to find. That little bit extra.
I think that's what they'll be expecting from us at the weekend, and I think he has to go out to say, okay, this is 3 points, we've got to go out and win it. He's got to set up to win the game.
So would you having watched Njai last night? Would you start him on Saturday?
Possibly, I would definitely be.
Probably, I would.
He would definitely be within contention. Like maybe might replace him, or might bring him on at a certain point. But you've got to kind of. I don't know. I mean, they're going to be. It's kind of predictable in the way we play, and so they're going to be coming in. No, will he play this particular way when these players are on the pitch? We nullify that, and they've got nothing else.
That's it. Yeah.
You've also lost the main man. So
but that's what I meant before when I was talking about Calvert-Lewin. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's one. We've got one way to air team. Do you know what I mean? And they know that. Do you know what I mean? Once that's out the window, it's kind of difficult for us to move on from that. So unless we kind of start begin to mix it up with something else, it can become predictable.
Well, and I is certainly unpredictable. And he would bring that X factor, if you will, to it. I would probably. The thing about the season is, you go into different parts of the season. For example, the last 3 years, the last 3 months of the last 3 seasons. And I've seen every single game we've played in the last 3 seasons, home and away. you get to a stage where it's a knife fight, it becomes cutthroat, and you're not just playing the opposition, you're playing the other teams around you and their results, and the mindset, the collective mindset between that. So there's a stage, this is just my opinion before anyone starts giving it out, I'm not pontificating, I'm just stating this is how I kind of came to terms with it. You walk up the tunnel with a mindset in the last 3 months of a relegation season saying, right now, we've got a point. It's 1 point each before we walk out here and the music plays. So, before we leave here today, we do not lose this point. We might not win the game, but we keep hold of what we've got now. That's the first objective. We try to win the game, but this might be the point what keeps us in the league. Well, right now, at the end of August, at the start of a new season before we go to a new ground, that isn't the case. So we're walking up the tunnel on Saturday saying we need to try and win this game, and then if we can't win the game, we take a point from it. Well, if that is the attitude, which I have no idea if it will be, but if that was the attitude, well, then back to your point about do you start and die? Well, you would do. Try and get 2-0 ahead, and then bring your substitutes on to shore it up. But that's in an ideal world.
Well, we got to half-time, and there was Maryland's, because they'd had the only real shot on target, which Pickford made a good save. One he should say, but it was a good save.
And he come back well from the bullet in the back, hindsight, years in the wheelchair. It's an old school reference.
There you go, there's an old to go with the, the Irish, Royal Irish. But we come out second half, and it was better second half, but we got the goal, didn't we? I mean, I haven't asked Ped his opinion on whether Dwight McNeil should be given it, because he was still fuming that Harrison got given a goal against Spurs last year when Dom headed it in. But it flicked off the laces of Dwight McNeil and went in.
How's he claiming that? How's he claiming that?
I mean, there was a few round me who were like, do you reckon Dyche was like that to the fourth official? That was Dwight's goal, make sure he gets credit. But no, but it was a good move, wasn't it? Lindstrom did well, little step over, cut it back. And it's what we need, don't we? We need our midfielders getting shots away, getting goals for us.
And also different people making runs into the box, doesn't it?
Also the other team knowing that that's actually a threat, it kind of pushes them back a little bit and makes them a little bit more aware, you know what I mean, of what potentially might happen. And so it would kind of, it creates space for you, that type of thing as well, doesn't it? That knowledge of that threats there,
You've mentioned there about him. Let's have a look at his numbers, just basic numbers from last night. 69 touches. 85% passing accuracy, no goals, but I do dispute that. 1 assist, and he had 6 tackles, which I think was the most on the pitch, or the second most. Heat map was there as well. He has been very impressive, and last night to me, he was head and shoulders above anything else on the pitch.
He's been every single game I've seen him. I saw him first in Ireland for like 20 minutes, half an hour. I thought, do you know what?
It's all right,
He was simple, kept it simple. And particularly off the top of my head at Coventry, but they took us to the cleaners at Coventry. But he was head and shoulders above everything. Every time 2 of them, he'd elbowed them off. He's strong. He can turn, pass with both feet. He looks to get forward at the first opportunity. Well, I've got not denigrating Onana in any way, shape or form, but you couldn't apply all of those criteria to him. He sometimes took the easy pass. We went to Wolves on Boxing Day last year, I think it was, or Christmas week, and him and Jimmy Garner were just passing to New Year's Day. 5-yard passes between them. The stats are through the ceiling, how many touches they had and how many successful passes. But they were all on the halfway line, that way to each other. This kid at least looks, in the early days of looking at him, he looks to affect the game as regards his team and the result. And I've seen him at Preston, he was impressive.
He was.
We looked good at Preston, it's only Preston, but then they're in a league higher than the people we played yesterday.
Well, he was impressive against Roma.
He was impressive against Roma. So what you'd say is, okay, it's incremental steps. There's no Harry Potter's magic wand here where we're going to turn into Holland all of a sudden, 1974. But you can see there's a footballer in there, so you've got to try and adapt, take it's small percentages, isn't it? The other fella at Liverpool used to say that, didn't he? If you shave,
just shave it off,
the percentages and you get better. Well, you'd start with that and say, if we can control the midfield, it allows us to sit further up the park because we're not that terrified of people running behind us because we basically control the ball for 68, 72% of the time.
The irony of it is, though, I suppose, is that if James Garner would have been fit, he wouldn't be playing.
He wouldn't be playing, no.
Because of the Premier League experience thing. But he has what he's done now.
He knocks that into a cock that if he'd actually just watched the game. Because he's better than all of the people with the Premier League experience to date, is what I'm saying.
Well, that's it. So that sort of gives, that that sort of shoots
nice
the manager's argument
It's a nice headache for him to have.
But it's good because what he's done is he's got in. He's got in and he's put the market down and he's proven to the manager, and hopefully that gets in his head for other players that actually, if you give him the chance, you can go.
He's potentially integral to that midfield moving forward. You can kind of see that as a player.
You know what I mean? His place in it personally.
As a player, just from the small things we've seen, it's potentially integral to what.
Well, that might be. That might. I know.
Moving forward,
they're looking at Mangala from Leon Unknown, because Dyche wants another midfield player. And then you just think, well, okay, that's all right. Well, what will happen? And then Idrissa will be in and out. But I still, overall, I think Idrissa is our best midfielder still anyway, just for what he does. But what it might do is sometimes it might mean he play with 3 actual midfielders instead of the core 8, and we almost become at times a real 4-3-3, where we've got them in a line as opposed to one cheating higher up the pitch.
No, that can work.
That gives us an option.
You've got to have the players to be able to play that system, you know what I mean? And maybe
that's basically what I just said about. If you prevent people running through you, that's why he plays old midfielders and everyone sits deep. Because we've traditionally been terrified of losing the ball and people just running straight through the middle of us and putting it in the back of the net. Like Welbeck did a week ago.
And Van der Ven.
And Van der Ven the other day. So, hypothetically, if you had 3 unnamed midfielders there, allowing you, if that was the case and an effective blanket, as it were, fire blanket, preventing this happening, well, you could then step up 8 yards, 10 yards further up, thereby giving you the chance to get round the centre forward, or if a cross from one side, the other winger tries to get into the box to be the extra body, or alternatively vice versa on the other side, or just try and rotate around them. There's options there. So someone's going to have to figure it out, but it just seems the problem with Mangala, not specifically Mangala, but you said it earlier about we keep buying number 10s. Well, we keep buying old midfielders as well. It's like,
none of them seem to be able to do the job properly. Well, Onana did, but he didn't like Onana. It's different. Do you know what I mean?
But also, he was a saleable asset. So
no, I know. But what I mean is, he already decided he didn't like him, and he was off the team.
Yeah, he was off the team.
Even though, I'm just saying for the whole midfield.
No, it's true. It is true.
But we did have the X factor, if you like. We had something a bit different in Ndiaye and his goal. Let's just have a look. Ned's done some stills for us for the goal. So where we go on this? What was the first one? Was Jake O'Brien, a lovely little ball through into Ndiaye. And what he does really well is if we take it on, defender comes tight to him as he receives it, and he just gets a little half turn as he spins him. The lad goes, and then it's about attacking the space rather than just playing a simple ball. He attacks and drives at the back 4. He's heading towards the box there in the next one. A little step over, we've got Michalenko running to the left, Beto.
But if you look, go back 2 stills there as he spins him, the one after that one. Look at Beto. Look where Beto is heading now, breaking those 2 centre forwards, centre halves out there. They don't even know what postcode he's in anymore.
Once you make a run like that, it puts them on the back.
He's off. And that's
go again, Ned. Back up to the edge of the box, does the step over, takes himself 1v1 and then gets into this position.
Addison's free over here now.
There's 3,
Mathew's on the edge of the box, he's also free. There's shots at goal straight away.
Next one, Ned, last one, and he just passes it in past the keeper. And it was lovely calm finish, lovely bit of individual skill. We haven't seen any of that so far. So
we haven't seen it for years there.
That's why for me, he would be playing on Saturday. And it's a case for the manager.
Pass accuracy, 92%.
Yeah, so here we go,
Nice.
let's have a look at his stats here. Here we go, there's his heat map. So you see he was popping up in the wide areas.
Yeah.
49 touches, 92% passing accuracy,
can't
1 goal,
argue with
no
that, can
assist
you?
completed. 66% of his dribbles. And that, yeah, okay, lead to opposition, fine. But other people weren't doing it. So that's
Yeah,
really
No,
have
not
to
just
look at.
that. You can only beat who's in front of you, by the way. So that's the kids. It's his first start, first goal, positive, no problem. You can lose. In the type of player what he is, he will invariably lose a third of the attempts he makes will be unsuccessful.
course.
Well, that means inverse that. And that means 2/3 might be successful. Well, that's exactly what we're paying them the money
But
for.
we've all got it, I think, all of our players, and we saw this with, talk about Beto in a minute, we saw this with Beto later on, where it's just playing the right ball. McNeil as well. McNeil had one where he hit it, was the keeper saved it.
First half.
No, second half we drove forward and the keeper pushed it over, but there was a pass on. A couple of minutes later he got the same position, and Harrison Armstrong was near the end, he made a run. And he just held on to it too long. The lad took it off. Beto, twice, he had McNeil on one. He should have just played it in and he was in it and he held on and the lad tackles him. It's those moments where the better players do just lay that off and you're in on goal. And it's, I think they're the moments. And I sometimes wonder if we do enough work on the training ground in them moments. I think we do shape and I think we do defensively, but they're the key areas.
We were screaming that last night, pass it now.
Just do the simple ball.
Just do that simple ball, and we think, no, he's going to keep hold of it, and he either gets it taken off of him or he's shooting it, it bounces off the player and stuff. But I think that is something that needs training. It is on the training ground where you deal with that, release that ball now. You know what, he might shoot, it might rebound, he might get it. Do you know what I mean? But he's after the goal, isn't he? Because he wants to affect his stats and he's desperate for the goal. You can see that, you know, but I'm glad he got a goal last night, Beto, you know what I mean? Because anything like that just helps build his confidence, you know, and he does, you know, some of his positioning is quite good, you know what I mean? I don't think he's a bad player, I just think he needs time. He needs game time, doesn't he?
As a centre forward, it's like I like analyse my strikers all the time, more than any other position. Yeah. Because that's where I played and all of that stuff, and I do with me lad, you know, I'm on him about control and all that. Beto's got none of that, he's raw. It bounces, he can trap a ball further than most players can kick it, you know, it's one of them. But he's a handful. I think if you give him chances, he'll get you goals. He's awkward, he's a nightmare to play against because of elbows.
Wouldn't the methodology be, if that is exactly what you've just said, then the answer to that, if there is one, the solution to it, is get people round him. Because he'll take them up physically and the ball will bounce off. He might not have it under control necessarily, but you'll be able to pinch it. But if you're 12 yards away from him,
you can't. He's a bit like Paolo once,
He is very like Paolo.
But there was one in the first half, Coleman whipped one into him and he took it on his chest. Two lads come to him, dragged it, turned the two of them, and the lag dragged them down. He got a free kick.
Actually,
and it was like, that's more, get on. And he'd done a couple around the corners. Some come off. I've not seen him do that. Some come off, some didn't. The one in the first half that McNeil fired across, he was on the stretch. But the one in the second half when Ndai put it in, he should have
buried
went
that.
To give nothing.
Absolutely should have buried it,
the goal was good, and again, it come from clever play. Great run, Michalenko. Lovely little ball from Dwight McNeil inside the full-back. He cuts it back. Beto gets a touch and then just puts it under the keeper. And that's what you want. Let's have a look at his stats from the game. There you go. 2 shots, 1 goal. He had 38 touches. 11 out of 18 of his duels won. Completed 66% of his dribbles. But even look at his heat map, though. The heat map is in wide areas. You want him. You want him in and around the box. You know, he's having to drop off, but at least one of the red spots on there, which is where he spent a lot of the time, was in the area. Too often, I think, with Dom, and this isn't always on Dom, by the way, but too often them hot spots are on the halfway line or on the
or between the area and the halfway.
We've got to get that further up. But I mean, Dave, just there is uncertainty.
Before, if we're talking about positives, I've been impressed with Harrison Armstrong as well as Tim in the pre-season. He was giving him extra minutes, which he's not going to give him in competitive football. But in that kid, if you're saying Roman Dixon might go out on loan, which right now, looking at our fullbacks, I would be loath to do, honest to God, because one injury puts us right back behind the 8 ball.
So I played James Garner there.
Yeah.
Nah,
Nobody will, won't he?
He will do.
If you're saying, what would I do? That'd be different, but I think...
That kid's got pace to burn. He's got to learn. Listen, he's an apprentice is what he is, basically, to all intents and purposes. But the both of them, you'd look at it, Howard was a great one for it. Put them around the squad, let them learn.
But I think he does
acclimatise
games
to it. But you've got to expose them to competitive football. So if granted, if you send them out, does League Two really help him, or will 10 8-minute starts in the Premier League cameos up till New Year? Will that be better for his eventual growth? Because right now, boys, we're out of options. So
I wouldn't get it. I wouldn't not get it.
So I'm just saying, I've seen only glimpses, but I watch a lot of football. I have watched a lot of football in my life, and sometimes things, I think that's unusual. I've watched all these other people and they're not doing that. So the same with Tim, I looked at him and thought, I think there's a footballer in there. He might not be there yet. It might not be the finished article, but I think the kid might have a chance. Well, in that case, let's make it with us, because really we're in need, particularly of creativity and particularly of breaking the lines and looking to get forward with the ball. That's our downfall.
I would keep him around the squad simply because the big thing, this team squad hasn't got us any pace.
Exactly.
And therefore it's why they're after Newman from Leon, because he is a runner, he's quick. Dixon's quick. Coleman, I love Seamus. We all do. We absolutely love him. What a fella.
Yeah.
But he's coming to the end. Ashley Young for me, he's a 15-minute squad player now. But the manager doesn't think like that. I like Patterson. I don't think he's been given a real fair crack. But every time he sort of gets in, he gets injured and he's out for months. So you're looking at him, you want him to take that. You want him to go, that's my spot and I'm going to show you all. He's not done it yet. So therefore, Dixon, I would be loath personally to go out and loan to League One, like you said, and play till Christmas. I don't know.
You'll get your chance this season.
I just think he will do that, because I think the manager will go Coleman, Young, Patterson, Garner will all play there before this kid.
I
do. I might be wrong on that, but that's how I feel he would
look at it. If the kid from Leon comes in, that's yet another old midfielder. So now Garner then
can be there.
Can be put across.
Get to him from Leon,
right, actually.
But we did, listen, the positives are, we'll look at the stats now anyway. Let's have a look at the stats from the game. Everton 3, Doncaster 0, 16 shots to 8-4 on target for Everton, 3 for Doncaster. The XG 1.94 to 0.47. Everton won the possession. God, 61%, we don't do that. But the positives are, we won a game, we scored some goals, we kept a clean sheet. Jake O'Brien, just very briefly, decent.
No, he was okay.
Decent enough.
Yeah, he was all right. No,
he's going to be one who will be League Cup game.
He played better at Preston. He was more self-assured. But that weather last night didn't help, because it was kind of, you've got to be wary about tackles. If you slide, you go right through someone, it looks naughty, and all of that. So first game, that's something. That's yet another aspect to a variable, what you'd have to take on board. So
let's be honest, he's going to be Branthwaite's
replacement. That's what he's doing for.
And as long as he's good with that, and I think he will be, you're bedding him in for a season. Jared will go next summer. Let's be honest about it.
Let's hope he's
we've almost, unless something mad happens in the next 48 hours.
But I was alluding.
I think it might be next summer.
I think it'll be next summer.
And then he's got a year almost to bed in, hasn't he? And then you're going right. He's not, in my opinion, right now he's not Branthwaite's level.
No.
But he could be a good defender for Everton, and he's just got to take the games as
same as everybody learns, but.
That's the Keane's going before Branthwaite, you know what I mean?
They're squad players, so they're all open to offers, all of them. But the thing about O'Brien is, the one positive to that situation is, finally, imagine if we'd have done this with the centre forward when the Charleston or even Lukaku went and said, what we're going to do is we're going to buy one in.
Well, what do you mean, like normal clubs?
To train them up for when we sell the next fella, because we know we're going to sell the next fella.
Me and Ped are always
and here we go. Here we are, years later, still pontificating over the same
Well,
problem.
the only sort of
it's as
one-
if we haven't been paying someone big dollar to sort that precise thing out, isn't it?
Well, it is, because
I mean,
we've got, you know, we replaced the Drishagana Gay with the Drishagana Gay, didn't we? You know what I mean?
And the Gay.
The only one we sort of
Which
did
is a
it,
cold...
well, that's mad, but the only one we sort
Meta,
of did
very meta.
well was Luca Dean and Leighton Baines, and,
And then we
Luca
sold
Dean just took Baines a share. The intention was half a season, I think, and then but he was just that good, he took it, you know, and that was good because it helped, you know, it was easier for Baines, but it's exactly what we should be doing. So that is the plan, and I think it probably is that O'Brien's for the season. That's fine, but you're absolutely right about the Lukaku thing. That was nonsense. That was absolutely nonsense.
But even the Charleston,
and the
there's
Charleston,
still an old the Charleston shaped hole where the Charleston used to be.
well, we might replace him with the
Where the Charleston?
Go and get him off Prague on loan.
Mind blown.
But listen, we won the game, and there is a positive spin for Saturday. It's not, and again, I seen a couple of people last night, the comments like, "Oh, everything's all right now, is it?" And like, no, but can't. You've won 3-0.
Yeah.
What's the point of going on about how terrible everything is? We've won.
It's a knockout tournament. It doesn't matter whether you win 3-0 or 1-0. If you win, you're into the next round. Who we get in the draw for the next round might throw the whole thing out the window.
Put it this way, we'll all feel a bit better going through the turnstiles on Saturday, having just won 3-0 than if we'd have got beat 2-0. Wouldn't we? And
that's the crucial
That's where it. Now on Saturday at 5 o'clock, we might get beat again, and then you start going, right, alarm bells now, 3 games, no wins again, what's going on?
Not just that, we go to Villa next.
And then Villa next. So then, but right now, we've just won. So, if, like I said to a few people who come up to me last night, going, well, what's it? I was like, if you don't enjoy winning games with footing, scoring goals, you may as well go and watch something else, because who knows when the next one's. I hope it's Saturday at 5 o'clock, but who knows when the next one's coming.
How did you celebrate the goal? I was like, I just went with the flow.
How did you celebrate? Well, I wasn't on the pitch.
He was taking the piss. Like, it was jocular. It was being funny, and I went, do you know what? I didn't even think about it. I kind of just went with the flow, because it's been a while.
I think I just sat in my seat and just drank a drink. I don't
Did
even
you
think
not tempted to say which one?
Yeah, no, I wasn't. So that'd be overkill. But my point being is that this is going to be a graft this season, and anyone who thinks that it isn't is just, they haven't been watching us play football very much.
I still think we'll be all right. I think we'll be.
Yeah, well, in order
14th,
to do that,
15th.
it's going to be a series of little steps, and there will be setbacks. And like last season, where we went 4 games in London and won them all, which nobody saw coming from this squad, by the way, there will be unexpected, decent, positive results. In that case, the secret to that would be keeping it in the moment. So the moment is now Saturday. The moment is Bournemouth. It's everything. We have got Aston Villa away, a ground where traditionally, like Tottenham, we do not turn up. The cup game last year accepted. However, if we were, they are a good side, particularly at home. They're a good side, and they have Louise is gone, but they're still a good side. But he was the best player I saw last year on any opposition team. He absolutely ran the game 3 times. I watched him. But if we keep it in the moment, it allows you then to shrug off defeats against teams who are better than you and focus on the more evenly matched fixtures.
I can shrug off look to win defeats against teams that are better than me if we have a go.
That's right.
I can. If we have a proper go, I can go, they're better. They're better than you. It's one of them things. They're just better as long as we have a go. Saturday we never had a go.
Well, the secret to that then is back to how we started this whole conversation. And being tactically flexible, stubborn is not going to cut it.
Answer,
It's not going to cut it, because they've already got you figured out. Like I said at the start, they know on the Tuesday what we're going to do on the Saturday, and that's not enough in this league, because you don't have to be Einstein to be able to overcome that sort of tactical limitation.
No.
You need to be able to think outside the box. It may not be successful, and it might need working on a few times, but you've at least got to give it a go, because otherwise you're going to struggle.
Right, some personal stuff.
Boom.
Keith, you've just been at Glastonbury, you've got other exciting stuff coming up, so go on. What is it? Go on, mate. Tell us. Not just Keith. Keith has as well. Keith's now like head honcho at Lipper and Paul McCartney's mate.
What do you want me to say?
Go on, the farm, what have you got coming up with the farm?
Well, there's quite a bit coming up. You know, we've had a really good year. We've been releasing new music. We've played loads of festivals, played Glastonbury, left field stage this year, which went amazingly well. You know, a lot better than what we kind of thought. And it was nice to be asked to do something a gig like that. You know, so we've had lots of festivals. We've signed. As a consequence of the music we were releasing last year, we've had a lot of interest from record labels. And we've signed a deal recently to Modern Sky Records, which is a local label in Liverpool, a lot of Chinese label, but they're based in Liverpool, and we're going to be doing 2 albums with them by the looks of it. We've kind of finished the next album, which will be out early part of next year, and we've got a few more gigs for the rest of the year. What next gig? We played in Bootle the other week with Red Rum Club as special guests of Red Rum Club, so we've just had lots of interesting stuff going on, really, when you kind of think of where we are, and next gig coming up for us locally is we haven't played Liverpool for about 10 years, I think. You know, we're not under our own steam, and we've got a special gig that we're doing in the Liverpool Arts Club on the 2nd of September, which is on sale now.
I think it's November.
Sorry, 2nd of November.
I mean, it's not good that Dave's telling you when it is. You're the manager, you know.
I'm really not.
2nd of November.
2nd
of November.
2nd of November, we're playing there. And kind of really looking forward to that, because obviously that will be, you know, playing Liverpool again, you know what I mean, to our own crowd, which is always eventful and always a lot of fun.
So he's ready for Everton's Wembley trip record again then? I think it's only right, and you last, you know, 95, you done the record, we won the cup. Yes. I think if we get back there again, I think it's only correct that you should do that again.
That was, that was a lot of fun, that.
We saw Joe Parkinson, didn't we?
I saw Joe Parkinson, yeah.
I said to him, do you want to do a chorus between the two?
But, you know, doing that record was kind of interesting, you know. I mean, I didn't intend to sing that record being there. I was just in the studio at the time, and the producer had the team in the booth getting different people to sing, and it was evident that none of them could. Sing, yeah. Not that I'm a great singer.
You're still playing it.
But the producer was like, you know, who's going to go in and sing this? So I went in and said, I'd had a bevy at that point. So give it to me, I'll do it. So I went in and did it, and there you go. That's kind of history. So I sung that song, and obviously it was based upon the original All Together Now, which Peter had been kindly enough to allow the changing of the lyrics so Everton could use that, you know, because you can't just kind of go and cover a song like that and change the lyrics in the way that Everton did without the permission of the songwriters. And Peter was kind enough, on advice from his father, who's a lifelong Liverpool fan, but basically said to Peter, if you don't let them use it, you're considering what the song's about, you're a hypocrite, you know. And so you know, that's admirable, you know, really what they've done. He's had stick ever since for doing it, like, but you know, we've got like a lot going on this year, and I just think from I don't know, it's just nice from a band perspective.
Was it a shock when Oasis asked you to support them?
I don't think we'll be getting that support, you know. And again, I don't never know, but you know, good luck to anyone that's going to be supporting Oasis, you know what I mean. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to enjoy them gigs, because there's been a lot of people waiting for that for a long time. But I don't think we'd be getting asked to do that.
You did get asked by the Stone Roses, by the way.
We did get asked by the Stone Roses, yeah.
We did play with the Stone Roses, incidentally, so let's not celebrate everything.
We'll see. Fingers crossed. Brilliant, though. Great to see you doing really well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just nice considering that, you know, after all of this time, that I actually kind of think that we're writing the type of music at the moment. We're just enjoying writing the music at the moment, and the response that we're getting to the new music has been beyond what we thought it was going to be. So, in a way, that's what's really nice about it, and the fact that there's no pressure on anyone to do it. I mean, people will either listen to it or they won't, and we're not really that asked if you don't, you know, to be honest. No disrespect to anyone, but we're just enjoying ourselves, really.
Brilliant. And you want to say?
I want to say
a lot.
Hello to my granddaughter in Australia, Coco Jean. Love you, baby. Hey, girl, what's up? Up the Toffies. I'm watching you. I want you to say it back to me on the phone when you watch this. Love you, baby. Thank you.
I mean, you used like an American. I thought you might have gone
No, that's what
Australian.
we do.
Why did you go
Okay,
American
that's
there?
Yeah, no,
Because we do that. It's
Oh,
my
is that
granddaughter.
what it
Get
is?
one, you'll find out.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
play the bear
All
rule.
Hey, I've
not
give
yours.
you the plan.
Okay,
There
I'm
you
just
go.
saying.
Hello,
I'm not in charge.
Australia.
Yes.
Go,
Hello
go,
in
go.
Australia,
Your
yeah.
uncle.
Yeah,
Okay,
there you go.
thank you.
Take it easy. Right, make sure you like, subscribe, do all that. If you are a Premier member, come through your questions next. Otherwise, see you all later.
Peace.
Peace. Yeah, cheers.
Hello.